All right, guys, welcome to the third dimension. My name's Matt, and this is our debut video here, and also our debut product. Um, so what we're starting out with here is the GP5 pocket tray. If you've been on the Facebook group for the GP5 uh, unit and also the Pocket Master, you may have seen earlier versions of this. I've been developing this, and to be quite honest, it's this has been actually kind of difficult to develop it. I didn't really have the cables to begin with, and I should have gotten them early on, and I had some interference issues with the way it was set up internally with the plugs, sliding with each other, and some other things. But we got it developed, and this is the final revision here. So, and I've already got these printed up. A little painting around here. Show you in the back there. So I got those. Actually, those ones there are older versions, and they're slightly flawed, but they're usable. And I'll show you that a little bit later. I'm gonna offer them at a discount, just to rather than throw them away, why not pass them along it for a cheap price. I haven't really figured that out yet. But one of the things I've been working on is getting investment, and I did get that, and I got the equipment. So um we're moving on full speed ahead. I got the printers cranking these things out right now. All right, so basically what this does is it combines these three pieces of gear together, and all this is like the perfect marriage, and I'm going to show you why. Because this is going to be a lot more than just putting these all together on a basically a foot pedal board. Basically, this is what this is. Ultimately, is just a refined version of a pedal board. Even though it really does turn this into a multi effects unit, and it's going to be pretty cool. Plus, it'll be you'll be able to add a battery that the PM will charge, and this will manage this battery, but this battery will power all the devices, and that's why this is a good combination because you kind of need the PM because it already has an onboard battery management system, so it's already there, and then you just plug into the back, and then it'll charge this. Now, we're gonna wire in an on-off switch that'll turn power off from the battery to the chocolate, and that'll turn both the chocolate and the GP5 off. Or actually, no, the chocolate will still be controlled by a switch. Excuse me. And there is a hole in the side, so and that's to access that switch. And then here's the USB port, and then in the back you're gonna have your output for the GP5 integrated here, and then your USB connection will be there for the GP5. Okay. Now, something else we're going to be able to add is the two foot switches to hardwire into the micro switches of the Pocket Master. I've already done that on this unit, and I've had this installed in the tray that you probably seen on the Facebook group. And it's real simple to solder these guys in there. I found these connectors here. I think they're called JST connectors or something like that. Um, so that's what we're gonna use, and then you'll solder, one side into the PM, and the other side your split switch, and then that way you can break the connection if you need to take this out, replace it, or whatever the case may be. Now, what's cool, and I'll show you here in a minute, 'cause I wanted to show you how this is gonna ship. So basically, when you get it, it's gonna come in a box, and it'll be packaged like that. You're gonna have your face cover for the chocolate sitting in there, and then your feet, and then the port adapters are gonna be in this bag here. All right, so I'm gonna set this stuff aside, and we're gonna do this in two-part video. Um, in this video, I'm just gonna do the basic set up with just the basic cord without cutting in the wires, because not everybody's gonna want to do that. So we're just gonna do the simple version first, and then once I got that done, and then I'm gonna play guitar because I haven't played guitar in like 3 months. So I'm gonna run it like that for a little bit, and then I'll come back and do the video to add the battery, the switches, and that stuff. Now, that's something I wanted to cover though is these units when you buy this, it's already set up to add the stuff. And I'm gonna show you because there's those portholes you see here are actually I'll show you these versions here. Never mind, I already had them here. All right, so this one was already printed like that, right? All right, so this one here I experimented with, and I did a recess, and then what I did is I counterboard this in the back, and then when it does that first layer, it kind of it covers that, but you can take a small screwdriver and pop that out of there, and then you just take a punch, and then you can knock them holes through. But but then you got these circles here, and I was thinking, man, not everybody's gonna like that. So I just eliminated that, and it's still there. And then you can see in the back, you can kind of see them. So you'll dig them out, and then knock them holes through. And you can kind of see it in the light. But some Scotch Brite will take care of that glossiness and kind of hide them. So we'll set this aside. Um, and those versions will be on the website. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is take the top off, and we're gonna pre-install these screws. Just make sure that nothing's stripped or broken or whatever. Want to make sure everything works for you. And then since it's going to guitarists, you guys know how to torque these screws down, so it's no different than replacing the covers on the back of your guitar. You don't want to over torque these screws and strip the plastic out. All right, now this one here is a shorter screw, and that's because you're putting your finger in here and you only got so much thickness. And that's to keep from digging into your finger. If you got fat fingers, you're probably going to use your pinky or use a pencil or something. I don't have massive hands or anything, but I can get my finger in there. All right. So this is my top. So now your GP5 slips in there. Pocket Master. It's gonna slip in here, and then your chocolate will fit in here. This kind of rolls in there. You got it. That switch right here. You got to kind of get that around that, and then it'll just pop right in there. And then this here, this is kind of directional. There's two holes right here for the LEDs, but I made them kind of small so they're not so damn bright. Because man, them things are almost blinding. All right, so that's kind of how everything sets in there. But now, before we get we do that, we're gonna have to install a cable. So you're gonna need 3 cables. You're gonna need a 90, and then a female output connector. This is all I could find on Amazon, and I'll leave links to everything here. But I'm not gonna include these in the kit. You'll have to come up with it on your own. Um, so you're gonna need one of these, and then you're gonna need a straight connector, and then a female USB-C for the chocolate. All right, and then that's gonna go out the side over here, and then you're gonna need a 90 to a USB-A. And now one thing I want to note is the bodies on these, you want these as short as possible because these gotta fit underneath this, and the wiring's got to kind of tuck underneath the PM. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect that first. So, and you can actually do this outside. All right, so I'm gonna make that connection. Doesn't feel like it's in there. All right. Now you may want to hot glue this in. Um, I probably will outside of the video, but you could use 3M, that Super 77 or whatever. Just glue that in there, and then same here. Now you're gonna want to kind of glue the chocolate in because this is gonna kind of glue to the chocolate. And then also there's a ledge right here, so you might want to hit that with some glue. Shush. These guys decided to get really active as soon as I fired that camera up. All right, so now first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna install the USB adapter. So in your little kit here, you're gonna have some feet. We'll glue them on at the end. We'll set them aside, and then you're gonna have two adapters. One's for the USB. All right, so and now what you're gonna kind of do is loop this around. And I'm gonna go all the way through with it. So I can see what I'm doing. Knew I was forgetting something. All right, so now I'm gonna put the adapter on over the edge and just kind of flush that up like so, right? And then that's gonna fit in this hole here. All right, so now what you're gonna want to do though is you're gonna want to glue this in. So I'm gonna use some Loctite gel, just some CS glue. That's fine, but you don't want to get glue inside your USB port there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of slide this. All right, so now very quickly, I'm gonna glue this thing in place. Uh-oh. I don't know. Okay. Don't glue it to your fingers. If you have to, you could, stick a small screwdriver in there, which I don't have. I've actually never done this part, so I'm actually doing it for the first time here on camera. I think I got it. If not, I'll go back and redo it. All right. All right. So now, what I'm gonna do is kind of get that in there real good, and I'm gonna press that in there. All right. And see how it's kind of twisted. I'm too worried about that. And I got these tolerances pretty tight, so everything fits in there snug, but not over snug. All right, so now the next part was we're gonna kind of wrap this around here, I think, and then this is gonna thread through back here. All right, now that'll plug into to the USB on the GP5. Hey, you guys. Okay. All right. So now you're gonna put your GP5 in here of the Pocket Master, and you want to form these cables so they're not getting too crushed. Okay. So that's what that looks like. All right. So now we're gonna install this guy. And there's a channel in there where that USB cable goes. So I'm gonna try to pre-bundle this. Yeah, it's kind of tight, but you kind of want to keep it compact, right? Do the same thing and go through with it. Hey, stop playtime. We're doing video. It's our debut video. You guys are gonna rock it. All right. Try to get back in the camera. Actually, I'm gonna put it on here. All right, so I'm gonna put the if you look at this, it's an octagon shape. There's two thick sides. I'm gonna put them top to bottom. Right. All right, so now put some on the inner walls here. All the way around because I don't want this moving. All right, so I'm gonna let that glue set up, and then we'll come back, finish up the feet, and then put the top back on. So this is gonna fit on there like so, right? So I'm gonna let that set up a minute, and then I'll come back. All right, we're back. All right, it's not fully cured, but I can at least install a jack, and it's good and secure. And then just so you can see the back here, you can see how nice and neat that is. And then look inside here, right? So it's nice and tidy. Now I'm going to show you a difference from those earlier versions. So the difference between this one and that one is this where this is located. I had to move this over because if you look, I mean, this is like as far as I can get it over now, and it just misses this. So if you can find a better cable, um, but that's something to keep in mind is how far that sticks out. Um, so Anyways, yeah, this one here, if you opt to buy one of these, because it'll probably be half of whatever I charge for them. Hey, calm down. Um, you might have to shave some plastic off just to make that fit so they don't collide. I did get it to work, but because of that, I had to change the design and basically what I'm gonna do with them. Hopefully, somebody nabs them. All right, so I'm ready to put the top back on, and then we'll plug the USB cable in. I'm gonna find that short screw, put that in first so it doesn't get mixed up and put somewhere else. Hey, I'm gonna throw you guys outside in the cold. Yeah. You guys think it's funny, don't you? Uh-huh. You guys are worse than kids. Alright, so yeah, don't strip your holes out. Come on, you two. Trying to be professionals here. Alright, so just gonna stack, make sure it's good and flat. So and that was kind of bow up. Nothing I can really do about that. Suppose you could glue it down if you really wanted to. I'm gonna leave it. I did go ahead and glue, just kind of tack welded this in with that CS glue. So now my chocolate isn't gonna fall out of there. You know, it's good and secure in there. All right, so this is other than the feet. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna kind of put a good amount in the corners. Wow, they don't give you very much in these anymore. That should be more than enough though. All right, so kind of wanna wherever you do it, wherever you put the first one, even it up, and then make the rest of them match. And don't glue your arm down to the unit or glue it to your table. And yeah, you don't want me gluing them on there because I'll probably glue them on crooked. Right? So you got your feet all glued on. Alright, so I'm gonna grab the here so I can glue it to my table. Alright, so now it's kind of lifted up. Alright, so now let's fire this thing up. Hopefully this thing's got a charge in it. And we'll get my battery pack. Of course I didn't have a USB cable on standby. Alright, well hopefully I got one nearby. Alright, so you can use a battery bank, you know, in this configuration, or plug it into the wall. Get a longer cable, which I do. I got a 10-foot USB-C cable I could use. All right, so now we got our interface right here on the side. So I'm plugged in here, and GP5 already powering out. All right, so now, let's see here. All right, so this is how I set this up. So I use the I think they call it the songless mode, where you can assign, you know, A, B, C, D, E, F, all the way through the alphabet. So what you do here is you use your, you know, set up your amp gain stages, you know, your clean, your edge of breakup, your heavy high gain, whatever. And then if you want like your preamp effects, use them on the GP5, right? So I got, and you know, you don't want to like, you know, put 10 of them on here. Just run like 3 to 5. I mean, what's nice, especially like 3, because you can always get to something, either by a forward or reverse. Now the reason this you want to do this is because when you have it in this mode and you set the chocolate switch up to descend, the PM can't see that. But here's the thing though, the PM can see pretty much all the channels. The GP5 can only see channel 1. So what's cool is you can set these 3 switches to output on channel 2 or whatever. As long as it's not channel 1, the GP5 will not recognize them. So I can control these independently without affecting the GP5 at all. Right? And then likewise here, because this don't have that mode. So this MIDI command is totally ignored by the PM. So you got your, and then you this gives you an extra switch, right? And so, and what's cool is like if I'm in B and like this right here, I put modulation here. Like if I wanted to jump back to a clean channel, I can go to D and then I go to C and back to B. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, if you go past D, it rolls over back to A. So this is really a really cool actual setup, and a lot of modelers work this way with scenes anyways. So it's not like you're really compromising. This is pretty much a standard thing already in use on a lot of modelers. And then there's nothing wrong with the PM as far as effects go. They're pretty much on par with the GP5. You might like some of the effects actually better. But you know the delays and stuff, especially like I like that dream reverb on this. That's a pretty good reverb. So I use that quite a bit, and then this gives you, you know, separate IR loader from GP5. So if you wanted to run through an FR, you could run you know, you can turn your IR on, and then of course you could, you know, have different ones, right? And then that's where the hard switches will come in later. Plus that's gonna open up the looper. So then you'll have, hard foot switches, control the looper, and I believe the drum machine, which I never really use the drum machine when I play. But so that'll be nice, and then then you're gonna have your on off switch to power the GP5 on and off, and then you'll use the PM to manage the battery that'll be on board. Then you won't have any. Then you won't have any chords running to this other than your guitar in your hand. Well, actually, not in your guitar because you have your wireless going into the side. All right. Hey, you guys. Yeah, these guys normally aren't even like this. Just so happens when I turn the camera on, they go berserk. So yeah, that's part one. We'll come back part two. Hopefully them guys will behave. And then we'll go ahead and wire the battery in. Yeah, it's gonna be a hard one because I'm gonna be doing that for the first time on camera too. So hopefully that pans out. Anyways, thanks for watching, and oh yeah, I'll leave a link to where you can get these from the Third Dimension. I just got the website live this week. Um, there are some things on there that aren't quite done yet, so and it is a template. It was like an AI template for for promoting AI, whatever. But I don't know. I like the way the website looked. It kind of fit the Third Dimension type of thing, and that's kind of printed in the front here and then here. And then also these the file to print this yourself will also be eventually be on site. Not sure how I'm gonna exactly do that. Wix doesn't allow STLs, but I'm pretty sure I can put it all in a zip file and offer the zip file, and then you can pay through Stripe. So you have um, a secure payment method there. You can pay right with a credit card. All right, guys. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the forum.